This is a true story, and it still strikes fear into the hearts of the people of California. It was a bloody chapter when a serial killer ruled the nights under the cover of darkness. His name was Richard Ramirez, but everyone knew him as the Night Stalker. It was a warm summer night in 1984. Many ordinary people lived in the city of Los Angeles, California. Little did they know that among them lurked someone who would come as the messenger of death in the dark of night. Ramirez committed his first murder in June of 1984. His victim was a 79-year-old elderly woman who was asleep in her home when Ramirez broke in. After brutally murdering her, he stole valuable items from her home. After that, the murders kept happening one after another. Ramirez always chose the cover of night. He would first break into his victims' homes and attack them. His targets were ordinary people, sleeping in the belief that they were safe in their own homes. But Ramirez shattered that peace and sense of security. The method of killing: sheer brutality. Richard Ramirez's method of killing was terrifying and brutal. He would often break into homes by smashing doors or windows. He always carried a small firearm, knife, or hammer. Once inside the house, he would physically assault his victims before murdering them in a gruesome manner. After the murders, Ramirez often stole valuable items from the home, which later became a major clue in leading the police to him. His string of murders spread fear and panic among the people of California. No one felt safe going to bed at night, unsure if they would wake up the next morning. People would lock their doors and windows, yet they couldn't feel safe. Satanism and horrific beliefs. Ramirez claimed to be a Satanist and often left messages like "Hail Satan" or "Worship the Devil" at his crime scenes. These acts intensified the fear in the air. People began to think that he wasn't just a serial killer, but was driven by some demonic force. This belief made him even more frightening. The police were after him, but they couldn't catch him. By mid-1985, the murder count in LA continued to rise. Police and detectives worked day and night, but they couldn't find any clear leads to catch Ramirez. The city was engulfed in terror. People were beefing up their home security, but nothing seemed to stop Ramirez. The day of capture. In August 1985, Richard Ramirez finally faced justice for his crimes. He had mistakenly left a victim alive, who later gave police a crucial description of him. Then, one day in a small town, a civilian recognized Ramirez's face. Ramirez tried to flee, but the locals surrounded him and beat him. The police later arrived and arrested him. During his trial, Ramirez was convicted of his crimes and sentenced to death. However, he died in prison in 2013. The legacy of fear. The story of Richard Ramirez is not just the tale of a serial killer. It is the story of a city's nightmare. His crimes shook the people of California to their core. Even today, when someone hears the name Night Stalker, it evokes a sense of fear and dread. This story reminds us that sometimes reality is the scariest of all. Through his crimes, Richard Ramirez showed us what kind of monsters can lurk in the darkness.